here, this is the I-19, it's a Japanese submarine. And there was, in this area, there was a number of Japanese submarines on patrol. But I-19 spots the Wasp, nice, big, juicy target, right? And so they decide they're going to send out a spread of 6 torpedoes, which, let's face it, if you're sending a spread of 6, surely something's going to hit something, especially as big as a carrier is. And indeed, 3 torpedoes do hit the Wasp. And then 1 goes this way, and then 2 others go this way. The Japanese had such superior torpedoes that it went all the way, these 3 went all the way through this whole group, all the way over to our group. Now, this is a Sunday afternoon, and it got real confusing because apparently one ship was going like torpedo headed for you, and people weren't sure, well, no, wait, which ship sent the message? Who's you? I mean, it was just got confusing. And at first, too, our guys, at first, they thought that the Wasp was just having a fire on its deck. They were, I'm trying to remember, they were either about ready to launch, they're either about to launch planes or recover planes. But what it means is the planes are full of fuel. That's the problem. You've got all these planes and they've got all this fuel. So if something starts to catch on fire, it's just a very dangerous situation. So they really thought something had happened like that there's some kind of just a fire on the deck. And then they realized, ruh-roh, it's something else. And we are following the lead of the Hornet. And the Hornet is giving us signals that we're going to turn. So we're all going to do this giant water ballet thing. And as I said, here come the torpedoes. And one of those torpedoes strikes the destroyer O'Brien, which will later be sunk. The Wasp also is going to sink. The Bryan is going to sink. And then one torpedo, just on probably the last of its run, we really ran into it is what we did. So we ran into a torpedo. And that torpedo blew a hole. Oh, that's a heavy piece. Okay, I'm not going to pick that up. But this picture here, this hole looks big. The exterior hole was 18 by 32 feet. That is a whopping big dang hole, 18 by 32 feet. But what happens is, I love this picture. This is from Ken. So, remember I kept talking about these void, fuel void. We talked about that all day long. This shows what that looks like. So out on the outside of the ship, it's called a torpedo blister. It's really part of the torpedo protection system, which I didn't know about until a few years ago. For instance, when you're outside the ship, people talk about the armor belt. So here's the armor belt. The armor belt is really just for incoming projectiles. It's to sort of help deflect incoming projectiles. But as you get below the water line, so here's third deck. This is kind of your water line. It's water line here, but the ship is rocking and rolling. So anyway, below the water line here, this sort of comes out from the ship, and it's void, fuel void. And the thing is, if you're hit with a torpedo and it hits here, first of all, energy's going to be released in that open space, right? That's going to take on some of the energy. Then it's going to run into this thick, that oil is not like our gasoline. It's more like a molasses. That's why they have to heat it up to even use it in the boilers and stuff. It's just this thick, viscous stuff. So first the torpedo goes into the empty space, then it's going to be pushing into that thick, honey, molassesy fuel, and then it's going to hit yet another void space. So if you can see the pink lines, these pink lines were these walls. So the torpedo comes in and just takes these walls and just smashes them, smash, and takes these floors, and this floor right here is this. It just... So you can see what's happening. So this is the 18 by 32 part. Well, then look how much bigger it got. So it just made this humongous hole. And then what they had is what they call the torpedo bulkhead going up through here. That held. It did not rupture. So this torpedo protection system really worked. Here you can see, this is showing the flooding. So the different decks of the ship, all these dark areas are where it flooded. And remember Odell's wrench? And this is what they did. These spaces over here is where they counter-flooded. So they didn't counter-flood, just the opposite. They kind of did like on a seesaw sort of thing. So because if they had just counter-flooded over here, then the ship would have gone down towards the front like this. So they had to kind of go through the center of gravity and go back this way to do the counter-flooding. Another neat thing is the Germans had invented magnetic mines. This is addressing, but this lovely green, the volunteers, they painted this green, and I would have done, we tend to leave stuff in its original, but they couldn't help it. He just thought this was so great. He painted it. It does look nice. But this is part of the degaussing system, and we actually walked past, in Odell's wrench, that compartment had another one of these pieces of equipment, And what these do, these got installed, I believe, after, I'm trying to think if it was, I can't remember if this was on when the ship was built or if it got a little bit later. Because one of the things that happened, the British were wondering what was going on. The Germans were having success with some sinkings, and they were trying to figure out where were these explosions coming from. So they had invented magnetic mines, and it's almost like a balloon. So if you think of a balloon, so if this is at the bottom of the ocean, and then you have, up here you've got this mine tethered to the bottom of the ocean, but it's sort of floating in the water. And it senses the magnetic field of a ship passing overhead. Well, first, this big hunk of steel becomes, with all the banging and everything that goes on here, develops quite the magnetic field. So here's the drawing, and it's on my hard to see. But if you have, so there's the ship, and here's the ocean floor. This red line would be this huge magnetic field. But what the gals are running, there are cables running throughout the ship with an electrical current, and it helps to reduce the magnetic field of the ship. So this is without the degaussing, huge magnetic field. With the degaussing, you can greatly shrink that field, so your little mine that's floating here maybe won't detect us. So that's what they had installed. That's pretty cool. Now where we're going to go next is the place where let me see, how many people we lost? 5 people in the torpedoing. So 1 man was washed overboard. 3 people were actually taking, they were air testing for leaks and stuff, ironically. And then 1 guy was taking a shower, and his name was Lenny Pone. Now let me see over here. So one day when the crew members are here, we give tours. And so Mr. Pone was here, and I feel badly. Mr. Pone actually died. Excuse me. Obviously, Mr. Pone Mr. Pone's spirit might be here, but anyway, his friend. And I'm so embarrassed I didn't write down the guy's name. But he walked over there and he said, he and Lenny, these were our bunks. It was over in that, just over there, towards the wall. And those were their bunks. And he said what happened was, I believe the people on this side worked on turret number 2. And they were up in the turret, and of course they're hot and they're sweating and everything, and they decided they're going to come take a shower. And you're going to see the showers. The showers back here actually have privacy. The potties here, privacy. You can sit on the potty, and there's a wall, so it's not like somebody's brushed. The other bathroom you see on the ship, people are brushing their teeth and shaving and watching you as you go to the bathroom. This one, you have privacy. But anyway, so you've got these 2 friends, Leonard Pone and the unnamed gentleman. They're going to take a shower. Well, just as they're going to do this, they get a phone call, because we do have phones, and people bring sound phones and sound-powered phones and whatever. So their friend in the bakery says, hey, I got a couple blueberry pies. You guys want them? Well, who wouldn't want, blueberry pies? So between the 2 of them, they decide Leonard's going to go take a shower, and his friend's going to go get the pies. And the man tells me, I was saved by the blueberry pies. Because he went to get the pies, and his friend back in the shower is killed from the torpedoing. Mm-hmm. And these are the kind of stories that I think, I gotta write this stuff down or tell something, because, otherwise it's going to go when I go. So anyway, we're going to go back here where the people